And good Monday morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. Welcome to May. Today is officially the first day of the month. How do you feel? I'll tell you this, if you hadn't opened your door yet, you're going to feel chilly in a minute. Right now it's 49 with a wind chill of about 46 degrees this morning. Doesn't that sound odd for May? It is, but that'll change. We'll get up to 74 today for a high. Nice weather in store for us, but the downfall to today's weather is going to be we're going to have gusts of roughly about 25 miles an hour. So a very windy day. Don't burn. I know the temptation is there. I got a bunch of stuff I need to burn, but don't do that. It's just too windy for all that. Volunteer fire departments would have to do a little bit too much work there to keep that going. So how do you feel? Hope good there. I see Sheila Lang is up. Good to see you. Elmer Talbert, good morning. DeCory, always joining us from the great city of Louisville, Mississippi. So glad to see you there. Richard Nelson, how are you? LaWanda joins us. Miss Terry Ray, Arlene too. The list is growing. Won't you? Let's see, we've got a lot to cover this morning beginning at 7. Odie will be in a few moments. We'll give you all the rundown of what went on. And I cannot urge you enough. I made this post just a moment ago about cows, Highway 19 South. This was before daylight, but we had reports of about 20 cattle out near Causeyville, Wynot Road, Highway 19 South. Hopefully they're up, but there could still be that chance that they're not, hadn't been pinned back up. 20 cows, a good bit. They've broken a fence somewhere overnight. And that'll be one of the stories that we get into this morning is we have had an absolute, I don't know the proper word for it, but there's been a lot of wrecks involving cattle lately. It had another one last night. Kemper County is where that happened. So be careful, use caution. They're hungry, the grass is green, and they're wanting some of it. We'll be right back as we get this day started. Right now, let's go out to Collinsville, get a good word for the day. And today's message, Brother Ben's going to deliver to us, is all about the truth. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Have you ever had a hard time accepting a truth? Maybe it just went against what you're taught or what you expected, or maybe that truth was just hard to believe. Now, the religious leaders sure had a hard time accepting truth on the night before Jesus was crucified. We read in Matthew 26 that they had just arrested Jesus in the middle of the night and pulled together an impromptu court to try him. It was both an illegal and unjust proceeding. They already had their verdict. They were convinced Jesus was guilty. They just needed evidence presented in the courtroom to make the verdict stand. So they lined up liars to bear false witness and to twist Jesus' words, but nothing would stick. Jesus remained silent in the face of these lies. But then the high priest said to him, I adjure you by the living God, tell us if you are the Christ, the Son of God. And finally, Jesus opened his mouth and responded, you have said so, but I tell you, from now on, you'll see the Son of Man seated at the right hand of power and coming on the clouds of heaven. What Jesus said was and is the absolute truth. He is the Christ, the Son of God, the Son of Man. He would be and is now seated at the right hand of power and is coming on the clouds again someday. Yet the religious leaders couldn't handle that truth. They couldn't accept it. It didn't fit their expectations, and so to their great shame, they cried out, guilty, and sentenced him to death. Beloved, have you accepted the truth of who Jesus is? He truly is all that he said he is. So instead of rejecting him and condemning him, embrace him, praise him, love him, and follow him. He'll change your life now and forever. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, and Mowdy Cabinetry. Brother Ben there speaking the truth as well. Join them Wednesday. They'll be opening up for classes. They had that little issue this past Sunday morning, as I think most of you did if you lived in the Collinsville area. A little over 3,000 people were without power. And again, that happened. We'll go back over this morning for everybody to know, but a tree fell down in we'll call it the wilderness, out on the rural route. Hard to get to. It took them several hours to get to where it was. Tree knocked out that power, and they had to postpone Sunday school. They did have power back by church service, though. That happened to a lot of folks. A lot of you without makeup and coffee, in an ill mood, weren't we? Just kind of rough to do without it. I do hope your morning is going well. We've got your forecast on the way this morning. We'll look at radar and see what all is going on with that. A few things that are happening over the weekend as we look at this. We, of course, occasionally go to Atlanta, Georgia. A lot thicker traffic there. The mayor of Philadelphia released a statement over the weekend. Her nephew, as often we do, a bullet barely missed him. Gunfire. Atlanta. What happened there? What goes up must come down. Someone fired a bullet into the air. It went up, came through the ceiling of where they lived. Barely missed him. It's been known to happen a time or two, hasn't it? Always remember that. Now, this is just one of those things to where is America headed as we glance at this story? We go to Massachusetts. Don't hear much about them other than Kennedy's, and every time somebody takes a fancy vacation, you hear a little bit about it, don't you? Well, they've got schools there, too. A middle school student was sent home from school. And we'll say the word allegedly as we get into this. He had on a T-shirt that said there are only two genders. Sent home. Very odd. Very odd. Thought you might want to know that, though. As we look at this next one, we go to New Jersey for a story. And if you remember, and I'm going to say her name wrong, Trump's wife, Melania. How do you say it? Melania. Is that right?
Yeah.
Odie's giving me that. Odie says that's the way he says it. She was very big about bullying, especially cyberbullying. That was one of her stances as First Lady. We see that a New Jersey student, he was a senior, had been racked for a whole year, bullied. He'd been falsely accused of a rape that he never did. Bullying. It cost $76,000 a year to go to school there. He committed suicide over it. Bullying's tough. We see this so many times across America, these things happening. As we go to Virginia Beach, it's declared an emergency. Tornado struck it, destroying 100 homes, throwing boats upside down and trees everywhere. I'm not sure if y'all are aware of that bad weather that they had on Virginia Beach or not this weekend. Pretty serious there. Now, I watched the first one. And Odie, you got any idea how many Mission Impossibles there are with Tom Cruise? Isn't it 3, 4, 5?
Oh, it's like 5 or 6.
5 or 6, Odie says. He's, believe this or not, y'all, he's filming another one. Yeah, this one's going to be called, what? Dead Reckoning Part 2. Part 2 is probably Part 40. Are they good?
They're real good.
I hadn't watched any of them since he went into the room with the cable and done that little thing there above the... Anyway.
Well, that was the first one.
That was the first one. That's the only one I've ever seen. But more that's coming as he's been out flying his own plane. Tom Cruise. Good actor. We'll give him credit on that. This is sad news as we look back across America of things that have happened in the past, of crimes that... Let's go to 1990. It's been 33 years. A cop was on duty. Somebody was robbing a place. He was shot. He ended up being more or less vegetable. He has passed away over the weekend. If they're still around, this should be upgraded to murder at this point. Vegetation for 33 years of his life. Passed away from, he was in a coma. How sad that is. Doing his job. His life taken away from him. Number one movie still at the box office. I'm not sure I'll ever go watch this, but everybody loves Chris Pratt. He stands up to being a Christian, does it hem-haw around it, makes no bones about it. Number one movie at the box office is Super Mario Brothers. That's it. Brought in $1 billion in ticket sales. $1 billion so far. Must be something to it, but I take it as cartoon characteristics. That's the way I see it. More on the way as we start your morning.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
Hello, my name's Kenneth Graham, and I'm running for coroner of Lauderdale County. For over 50 years, Lauderdale County's been represented by professional and competent coroners. I would like to continue that tradition. Over the next several months, I want to educate the public on what the coroner does and dispel any myths about the coroner job. I can show you that I will be the most professional coroner there is. So please vote for me August the 8th.
Paid for by the Committee for the Election of Kenneth Graham. The Precast Group, offering you the best selection when it comes to a storm shelter. Located on 145 South in Meridian, where they offer above-ground shelters that can be installed in your home as your built-in. are conveniently located right outside your home if it's already built. They also offer storm shelters that can be installed in a slight bank or on flat ground. Protect your family today with a very affordable storm shelter from the Precast Group. Highway 145 South, 601-482-0003. The Precast Group. And welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray. As we start this day together, again, 49 right now. Wind chill of 46 for the high of about 74 today is the forecast. So we'll have sunshine, but breezy, nippy early is the way we'll word that. That wind chill, burr. Cold-natured like I am, it gets to you. As we glance over at Meridian Honda radar this morning, this is the way it looks. It's all clear. We do have a little bit of fog here in northern Georgia. As we'll look at this. Back this way, there'll be some rain, but nothing in our area. Our next chance of rain, we'll look at your 7-day forecast coming up in just a moment. Looks to be maybe Friday-ish. So we've got several days of sunshine that hopefully you'll be able to get your grass cut at some point. Yeah, it's been rough, hasn't it? Yeah, I know so. All right, let's get into the forecast this morning.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Those record highs, record lows, 1959. Wasn't that a John Anderson song? Oh, yeah, I'm right. 91 today was a record high. 1988, we had a low of 40 today. That was a chilly day as well, not far off from where we are now. As we look to today, 73-ish, 74 Meridian. As we go through Philadelphia up 19, we should see somewhere around 72. And as we get in toward the Stark Vegas area, cooler weather, 70-ish in that area around. As we get through Louisville, right on up to Columbus and Starkville and all those areas. As we go south, warmer, 78 in Hattiesburg. Over to Natchez, 75. As we go east this morning, 72 there at the river at Demopolis. We should see 73 in Livingston, Alabama, and 71 Tuscaloosa. We'll get into the 60s in northern Alabama. As we look at this is what we've got here. Warmer on the west side of the state as we see that. Right there, a little bit normal here on the east side and toward the Carolinas, but we do have a warm spell right there over most of all of Texas, moving to Louisiana and moving into Mississippi. As we look at our 7-day outlook, brought to you by Wilson Saw and Outdoor Power, this is how it looks today. That 72-ish for a high, 47 tonight. So we're not out of that 40-degree weather just yet. As you'll see, that will change as the week goes. 77 tomorrow, a little bit warmer there. By Wednesday, 76. And by Thursday, we're back into the 80s, but rain chances start to develop over the weekend. Slight chance there on Friday as we move in over the weekend, but those are not huge chances. We'll get a breakdown of that as it gets closer to this. We'd tell you now, but as you know, it's Mother Nature's, and it'll be different in 20 minutes from now. As we look through the 15th, we're in 80-degree weather. Look at that, 85 all the way through. And nighttime lows will be drastically different than what they are this morning. As we see 2 weeks out, we're back with lows of about 64, the lowest we'll see. Maybe 63 one night, but a lot of difference in between then and now. As we look at that fishing forecast today, best times to fish today, Chet tells us, let's see here, 10 o'clock today, 10 till noon, so if you can hit the water, make sure to do that. Now, again, the wind's going to be 10 to 15 with gusts about 25 miles an hour. Go with the wind, don't fight the wind. Backlashes. It's bad. Been there, done that. Sometimes it's just best to pack it up and go to the house at Odie.
That's it.
It's rough.
Call it a win.
Oh, that's it. Now, we're getting ready for the morning show. We're going to start in about 15 minutes now. There's so much information that's gone on over the weekend. We don't want you to miss a single word of it. It's going to be big, and we want you to be a part of it. How do you do it? Right here at Facebook, YouTube, either way you want to do that. Click subscribe and follow us, or you can watch us on television. You'll find us on Fox 30 beginning at 7. All of that underway this morning. It's the latest, greatest. We'll let you know what goes on after the lights go out. We'll see you soon from the Scotty Ray Report.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: